same. Can't do what 10 people tell me to do. So I guess I'll remain the same. Sitting here resting my bones. And this loneliness don't leave me alone. For 2,000 miles I've flown just to make this gate my home.
We're gonna get tagged, but I don't care because
That was excellent.
fun. What's up, Doug? How you doing?
Good, man. How are you? How was well, we talked earlier, the week wasn't great for either of us, but how are you feeling, man?
I'm feeling great.
Yeah.
I am. I can say that today.
Yeah.
Yesterday, you might have got a different response. But welcome to Brothers and Booze. We have a fun interview for y'all.
Mm-hmm.
But first, I want to talk about the beer that I just poured, Doug. I am very, very happy to pour this beer. I am proud of the person on it. I absolutely love this lady. I love the beer. Who made it? Crowns and Hops.
Crowns and Hops. Awesome.
And the Black Calder. Ms. Stacey Abrams.
Very nice.
Oh, my goodness. The Stacey Abrams beer is in the house. And, Doug, I don't want to make you too jealous, but sorry in advance, because this is a fruited goza.
And that's sitting at my parents because I couldn't get it delivered to New York.
I hope, man, it has blueberry, peach, vanilla. This is right up your alley, man.
Oh, that sounds like
cinnamon. Is that coriander?
Oh
I mean,
God.
it has it has. This is straight down your lane, bro. Here we go. In a dirty ass glass, but we're still going to enjoy it.
As we do. Mm-hmm.
Peach, cinnamon, balance, Doug. All over the place, balance. Vanilla, yeah, there's vanilla in there. Yeah, it says coriander. Not getting so much of that. A little blueberry, balance. Nothing's hitting you like more than anything else. How about that? I feel blueberry, peach. I got the vanilla, coriander. I'm not really tasting that. Maybe it'll come out once it's warmer. But cinnamon, not threatening. Fantastic. Yeah.
What about any sort of salt notes? Because that's kind of a characteristic of Ghostas. Did you get any of that at all?
More of like a little punchy little aftertaste, a little punchy sour kick, but not salty, and I bitch about the saltiness.
I know you do. So I was wondering if you said it was balanced. That's a good Ghosta for you then.
Yeah. Absolutely. And Daniel Fisher, how you doing, buddy? A good use of an open mic. Absolutely.
Very
and
much so.
I wanted to see a nice happy freak out in the airport because I love showing the opposite.
Crazy one. So yeah. All right, man,
Doug.
All right, mine is one I had last year, but they re-released it this year. Is Haunted House from Allagash. Don't be salty. Thanks, Jeff. I got this again because it's a hoppy dark ale. It's last year was excellent and spooky season. So
yeah, great. We need more spooky beer theme stuff. Clearly.
Yeah. Did you see that? I had sent our friend Renee a care package of beer that was all spooky beers, and this was one of them.
Man, you're a cool friend.
But look at how really cool. That's a hoppy dark. Look at that. Ooh, baby, nice and dark.
Where are my controls?
Hoppy dark ale. So you can smell the hops right on the nose. So you're going to get that in there. Man, just that it's cool because it's got the hops, but it blends super well with like the roastiness. So yeah, that's
love it.
That is super good. So I think I keep saying I'm going to send you beer. I have like 10 beers I want to send you, and they're all sitting in my fridge. So apologies, but this is excellent. And the best part, the ABV, I don't know if you can see it, 6.66%. It is a season.
Allagash, man, they rarely do any bad stuff. So
no, I don't think I've had a bad one from them that I can recall. So
without further ado, I'm going to turn the stage to you.
Yeah. So tonight we're lucky enough that we booked a guest named Mallory O'Meara, and she has a book coming out called Girly Drinks, which we were fortunate enough to get a advanced copy of. It's a world history of women and alcohol. And as we talk about in the show about representation and seeing like just how like women are not represented in the history of alcohol hardly at all. And this book is a great exploration of that.
They are now.
Yeah, they are now. And we've had folks on here for that, and it's great. But you know, since her book's being released, and you know, she is superb at research. So yeah, I'm super looking forward to it. So our guest tonight, Mallory O'Meara. So let's bring her on.
Boom. Hello.
Hi. Thanks for having me on.
Yeah, thank you. So as we started with ours, what are you drinking? Do you have any beverages at hand?
Yes, this is my platonic life partner, Buffalo Trace Bourbon. We've been through a lot together. Many bottles of Buffalo Trace went into Girly Drinks, and I got my best friend made me these Girly Drinks glasses.
That's awesome! A nice tumbler.
Really cool. Yeah. So yeah, me and Buff T are BFFs.
And has that always was that from, you know, I read your book, I read parts of your book, disclaimer, and I've listened to many of your podcasts, so I think I might know the answer, but has bourbon always been your choice?
Yeah, well, since I really got into booze, yeah, bourbon and I became in love with each other basically instantly. I mean, I love a lot of different bourbons. I have many that I could talk at length about, but Buffalo Trace is my favorite. It's really cheap out here in California. It's only like $22 a bottle, and it's delicious. It's my favorite. And one of the cool things that Buffalo Trace is doing, at least around here, is that there are different liquor stores and restaurants that are doing like their own select barrels of Buffalo Trace. And they all taste so different and all so good. This is not one of them. I do have one that was selected by the Tam O'Shanter restaurant in Los Angeles. But this is just my regular stalwart, you know, constant companion, regular old Buff tea.
Wait, I recognize that Burning Witches shirt.
Hell yeah.
Yeah. That's something we might delve into a little bit later with the music stuff, but yeah. So with Girly Drinks, so I followed you and followed kind of a little bit of your process, but obviously a lot of it was kind of incognito for a bit. So what was the genesis of the idea for the book, like other than representation, or is there other things that we need to know?
Well, Girly Drinks really started about 5 or 6 years ago. It started before my first book came out. I had moved from Brooklyn to Los Angeles, and my best friend, who's a huge cocktail nerd, as a housewarming present, bought me a cocktail kit, you know, bar, spoon, shaker, the works. And I started getting really into cocktails because she also bought me the Death and Co. cocktail book. And I started reading about it, and I just started making cocktails. Up until that point, I didn't realize that you could get nerdy about booze. And I was, as you know, a lady, I was pretty intimidated by it. You know, I never wanted to like try. You know, when I was a teenager, I tried like Natty Ice, and I was like, "Yeah, beer sucks. Beer's not for me." And I never really wanted to get into it more because it was such a masculine thing. Mm-hmm. And Lauren, my best friend, showed me that, you know, cocktails are amazing, and there's so much that goes into them. There's so much artistry and science that goes into distilling and brewing. So like anything that I get into, I wanted to read about it. I very much subscribe to the Hermione Granger school of life. And so I started buying tons and tons of cocktail books, beer books, whatever it is. And I just started noticing like, written by a dude. Okay, written by a dude. Oh wait, these are all written by white dudes, and there's like a white dude is like the main character in all of these history books, and it was really driving me nuts because I was just like, well, what is everybody? That's like a very small portion of the population. What is everybody else drinking? And it wasn't until I read one book. It was a history of American cocktail and bartenders, and it had one line that said, during Prohibition, women were allowed in bars because all sorts of social rules were upended because, you know, bars were illegal. So they were underground. Women started going to them. And that was it. Just like one sentence. And I was like, hold the fucking phone, please. Like, that's what I want to know about. that was it. And I was venting these frustrations. This was, I think, this is in maybe early 2016. I was venting my frustrations to my best friend. And she said, yeah, the book that you want doesn't exist. There's no written history of women drinking. There's just there's some recipe books, and there's a bunch of really cool recipe books that are out, but there's just no histories. And I was like, well, I know what I have to do. And it just started from there. And after I finished my first book, Lady from the Black Lagoon, I found out that my editor, Peter Joseph, who I adore, used to be a cocktail writer. And I was like, man, I really want to write a women's history of drinking. And he was like, yes, please, let's do it. And took me a couple of years, 2 or 3 years to research it. But here we are.
Man, 2 to 3 years. I I like writing. I am not a research nerd, and my wife is a research fanatic. So I admire you folks that can do that. That can just dive that deep. I can dive a little deep. I can't do that deep end dive like you do. That's admirable as hell.
Yeah, I think I lost count after 500, but somewhere between 500 and 700 books I read for this. Articles, documentaries, interviews, scholarly papers, archives, the whole works. But I love research. I'm a masochist. Like, give me a 15,000 file stack of books, and so I love it. It's fun for me. I feel I get a lot of excitement out of it. Probably tells you a lot about me. But yeah, I enjoyed it. So this, I'm sad that this book's over, because that I'm finished writing it, because I had so much fun researching it.
Wow. So yeah, I put the link up to, or I put the picture of it up to it. So when exactly does it come out, and
Next week.
where can we get it? Next week?
It comes out October 19th. I can send you folks a link to get signed, personalized copies, but it's out, the 19th. And I narrate the audiobook. It's out ebook. The ebook and the print versions do have photos. Unfortunately, the advanced review copies that you guys have don't. But the final copies have photos in them, which are pretty cool. If I do say so myself, it's pretty awesome.
All right. And that's available anywhere and everywhere you can get books, ebooks, audio books, all that. You can follow the link at the bottom to MalloryO'Meara.com. When you go there, it's all there. Everything's there. I checked it out, believe me. So I just want to make sure everybody knows where, and I'm pretty sure there are those places you can pre-order too. So I just want to make sure
you can pre-order it right now. And I will say, I am doing a pre-order campaign that is going to go right up until the book comes out, where I've been doing, you pre-order the book, doesn't matter if you pre-order the audiobook, ebook, print version, wherever you buy it, Amazon, Barnes & Noble, bookshop.org, your local indie, you will get entered into a giveaway for the Girly Drinks koozies that I made just because I really wanted them for myself. And then I was like, oh, these are cool. So every week I've been drawing a new person. Just email it to girlydrinkskoozie@gmail.com. That's KOOZIE. And I've already sent out probably 20 or 30 of them, and I'll definitely be sending out more. I'll probably pick 4 or 5 more within the next week. So yeah, you can still get entered into that. And I'm a koozie freak. I love koozies for some reason. So I'm really pleased with them.
All right, Doug, what's going on?
Yeah, so I love the koozie idea. I saw them on Instagram, and I was like, they're adorable. I am not a koozie person myself. I have a Cthulhu koozie from this place, Miskatonic Brewing, out of Minneapolis, I believe, or Chicago. I can't remember. But when we're talking
about cold hands, don't let my hands get cold very easily. I need a little beer sweater.
A little warmer. Okay, yeah, I'm a furnace, so like most of the time I'm like sweating all the time. It's not pleasant. But
you need the opposite. You need something that keeps your beer cold and keeps your hands cold.
Oh, I have that.
Right.
Like my poor wife, she's like, when we're in bed, she's like, "Can you get off me? You're making me sweat." Like if we're cuddling, it's just not great because she's just like sweating immediately because I'm hot. But
marriage, the loveliness of marriage.
Yeah, well, no, it worked. It worked pretty well because usually she's cool and cools me off, but sometimes I'm just a little too warm. About the book, there's, I got to delve in this. I didn't get to quite finish it. I got pretty close. There's a couple of people that really stood out for me. One is
Oh
Bessie.
yeah, I probably should tell people like how the book is structured, because it's not. It's not.
You can do that, and I'll piggyback.
Yeah, it's not a straight biography. I will also say this is not. I write in a little bit of a different way. There's a lot of swearing in this book. There's a lot of dad jokes. That's just how I write. I can't write any other way. But the book starts at the dawn of time and ends and goes up till like right now, very, very present day. And every single chapter has sort of a main character. It features one woman and she guides you through her time period. And the historical women that I chose are bartenders, distillers, brewers, just famous drinkers. So I tried to really run the gamut and feature as many different facets of alcohol culture as I could.
Yeah. Well, one of them that you talked about was Bessie Williamson, which
my best friend.
Oh my God. That woman, I think you said was the only, is it either head distiller or head?
She's the only, she's been the only female general manager of Lafroig.
And Lafroig is one of my absolute favorite whiskeys. And saying Islay and the footnotes made me smile because my wife and I have actually been there, but we went to Talisker was the one we went to when we were there. But Lafroig is one of my go-tos. And hearing her story, I didn't know the full story of how she got where she was. It's breathtaking just to see her perseverance to get to that.
Yeah, I love her because, you know, today a lot of people think that Scotch is like man juice, basically. It's like the manliest thing. It's like when you think of Scotch, you think of like people with big beards and like mahogany libraries and stuff. But what really happened was it was this like frumpy, bespectacled woman from Scotland who came over and like basically taught America about single malt Scotch and smoky peaty Scotch. And I just think that is the coolest thing. So my personal mission is for people to stop thinking about Nick Offerman when they think about Scotch, start thinking about Bessie Williamson.
It's either Nick Offerman or I don't know if you ever saw the video with Brian Cox just sitting by a fire drinking different whiskeys and he pronounces them because he's Scottish. So he pronounces them all correctly. So he teaches you how to pronounce them because some of them are a challenge because they're not, there are a lot of Gaelic phrases in them. So it's a little challenge, but yeah.
But she's absolutely fantastic. There's a photo of her in the book and she's in the 1960s and 1970s chapter. And she's just so fantastic, especially nowadays where we have this stereotype of like the sexy whiskey girl, you know, who wears red lipstick and leather, and she's cool because she's not like the other girls, and she's cool because she does guy things. When really, like the original whiskey girl, like wore sweaters and like low heels and like tweed. So she completely blows all stereotypes, and she is absolutely amazing.
Yeah, that was one of my favorites. Greg, do you have something to say?
Yeah, especially well, my encounter with this fun book was that what I did was I was like, this is the keep it real. Got your book like a month ago. I've been in and out of the hospital since. So then what happened was no, it's so ago, but I forgot to take it to the hospital, which is one of the mistakes. But what happened was the
most American shit I've ever heard in my life. Like, oh, so sorry, I didn't get to this piece of work thing that I had to do because I was in the hospital. I forgot to bring it to the hospital.
I forgot to bring my book with me though. But anyway,
let's deal with that capitalist guilt. Okay, you're doing fine.
No, absolutely. So then what happened was I wanted to take in some of the book. But I found myself not being able to read it all. So what happened was I read through. I'm going through the contents here, and I'm like, man, look at all these cool different ladies here. They must be all badasses. And I went to besides beer, my liquor of choice is tequila. So I went right to the tequila.
Yeah.
Yes. So then what I was under the assumption that like each chapter was just about that lady. And I found out real quick that it wasn't that way. And but what I found out is that I loved your style of doing this book, which is you interwove these ladies and you interwove the story via the time. And that's what I want to tell everybody. And why I'm looking forward to going back and starting at page 1 is because the way that I could tell you wrote it, you said you wrote it in, I don't know, I forgot how you described yourself. You said it was unique or something, but it was just, it was unique for me.
I swear a lot for so people find out that I'm a nonfiction author. They think I'm very stuffy, which is hilarious to me. It's not how
No, you're not. But but I found it very interesting how you interwove them and how it actually worked, even in that short context that I got even in that paragraph, it worked for me, even though I just started in the middle. So I just wanted to say that. Just a little hats off to the style that you did, because I even got into and I was like, whoa, I didn't know about her. So then I flipped back a little bit more and then I was finding out. So it was again, I highly recommend the book, even though I only read a chapter-ish of it.
No, that's fine. It was something that was really intentional. That's part of the reason why I had to read so many books for it, because it was very important for me to put everything in context. I mean, I don't need to tell you to, there's so much more to alcohol. Like, it seems so, like, such a trivial thing, like, oh, it's beer, oh, it's cocktails, oh, it's bars, it's whatever. But up until very recently in history, alcohol was like a huge part of the diet of most of the people on Earth. It's been so intrinsic to our society, to power, to our political structures, to economy. And I really wanted to put all of that in context. So it wasn't just me regurgitating a bunch of cocktail and beer facts. It was me telling you why this stuff was important. During the medieval ages in Western Europe, it was women who absolutely controlled the beer industry. And like, that fact is really cool on its own, but I really wanted to tell people why it was so important and why they were able to completely dominate this industry, even though most of them couldn't read, most of them couldn't write. And so that's why I mean, each woman is in her chapter to sort of guide you through it, but I wanted to make sure that all of it was illuminated. And I didn't just want to do that like American thing where history goes from like ancient Greece, ancient Rome, pop off in England for a little bit, and then we're in America, and that's what history is. And there's so much other cool shit happening all over the world in every single country. So I really wanted to cover all of that. And it was tough to weave all of it together, but I'm really, really happy that it flows and it comes across as interesting.
It does. And Doug, let me ask this one question and I'll be done before we can make sure we hit this part of the book, because I think it's the most important. Actually, for me, it's the most important. Can you explain to our audience how you believe that how a society treats women in alcohol, how that's a reflection on that society?
Oh, for sure. So basically, since the dawn of time, since really society became a thing, alcohol and the ability to drink alcohol, and especially the ability to drink alcohol in public, was a reflection of how much power you had in that society. Where you were allowed to drink and what you were allowed to drink were one of the quickest ways to find out your social status. So, basically pick any culture, any time period, wherever you are. If you look at that country's drinking habits, you can tell who has the most power, who's able to vote, who's able to own property, who's able to do whatever. So it's again, it seems so trivial, just drinking, but it really is like the perfect microcosm of what our society is and who has the ability to have power and who doesn't.
Man, that's pretty deep, though.
Yeah, it is. I would also one of the people also that I like was Li Quinchong. I'm probably mispronouncing the hell out of that.
Yeah, it's trust me, I read this audiobook and it was an adventure for sure.
I'm sure, but I love that you gave her the title of the drunk poet over Bukowski, because fucking Bukowski, God, that guy, I hate him so much, and I was just like, yes, thank you for doing it. I was so happy to read that.
It's funny, when I first moved to Los Angeles, when I was like dating and I was trying out Tinder for the first time in my life, and it ended up becoming this kind of like weird experiment where I would go out on dates with guys and they'd find out that I like to read and they would bring me a copy of Bukowski's On Women as a gift. I ended up having a stack of them in my apartment. It was just like, what a terrible gift to give to somebody. So when I found out about Li Qingzhao, Qingzhao is one of China's greatest poets. She's a female poet, but basically the things that she liked to write about were about being drunk and horny and sad. And like, she was doing it 1,000 years before Bukowski even picked up a 40. And she was such a great poet, but so much of her notoriety came from the fact that she was just writing about the things that the male poets were writing about, but because she was a woman, they're like, no, girls aren't allowed to be sad and horny. Girls can't do that. No.
Join us in the misery, ladies. Of course you can.
They'd be stoked about it, but they were not. She was so scandalous, and Qing Zhao is absolutely fantastic. I include some excerpts from some of her poems, but she was so groundbreaking and so awesome. So yeah, Charles Bukowski is not the king of sad, drunk, horny poetry.
Lauren's comment is the best there with the "yes, we can."
Oh, yes, we can be the same, right?
Yeah. So that just made me very happy. So thank you for doing that. That really made me happy.
I never miss a chance to dunk on Bukowski. I wasn't gonna miss that.
Well, there's a bunch of authors that I have a real issue. He's one of them. David Foster Wallace. That guy can go pound sand, even though he's dead. I don't care. Anyway, so I think with this book, I really highly recommend it. If you like something that's got some humor, just history. She put 1 million hours of research into this and writing it. I just, like I said, I'm pretty close to finishing it, and I just think it's awesome. If you want to understand some things, and we've talked on the show a few times about different things where you want to have representation, and seeing where representation has kind of been. Usually the term we use is whitewash. In this case, I think it's like man wash.
White man wash is about the way. White man wash sounds gross, but it's the right term for this. And I will say that I worked really hard to make this book as accessible as possible. Again, people hear that I'm a nonfiction author and they think that I sit around puffing on a pipe and writing out 15,000 letter words. I really wanted to make sure that you can read and appreciate this book even if you've only ever had a strawberry daiquiri at Applebee's. I wanted to explain everything. My editor used to be a cocktail writer, super cocktail nerd. And there was a few things that when we were writing the book, he was like, you don't need to explain, all this bar lingo. People are going to know what that is. And then his editorial assistant, Grace Towery, she read it and she's like, I have absolutely no idea what any of these things are. You have to explain. I wanted to make sure that you don't you really don't have to know anything about beer or wine or cocktails at all. There is no barrier to entry for this book.
Beautiful. So, Doug,
I'm going to open a second beer. Or do you want
me to do my second beer quick? Okay.
Yeah, you do yours and I'll do mine.
Right. I'm going to open up.
Mallory's doing a sipper. We are not doing sippers. So, yeah.
Right. I'm going to open up a mango milkshake, Doug.
Ooh.
Central Waters too. Good.
Mallory, you're oohing. Are you into the milkshake beers? Do you know
I love a thick beer. If a spoon stands upright in a beer, I'm down.
Okay.
All right.
Okay.
I knew I liked you for a reason.
I'm really stouts, brown beers, dark beers are my favorites, but I'll drink almost anything.
Well, the milkshakes are really thick, even though they don't look it, but yeah.
Yeah, they are. They are thick. And this one is this one looks like it's going to have sentiment in it. Oh, Doug. You guys, y'all like mangoes? This has the mangoes. This has that thick feel that you get out of milkshakes. It's not that thick though, but the mango is shouting out at you. It smells out. It's flavored out. Excellent.
Awesome.
Yeah, mango with mangoes and vanilla beans. Not getting the vanilla. Maybe not. Maybe it needs to warm up. Doug, what do you got? Because I got a good question coming up.
Yeah, I have a stout. So this is from one of my favorite local breweries called The North, which makes a series of beers called Lovecraftian Love Language. This is their Rylaian.
All right.
So
I'm down a little bit with the can art. It's not too crazy, but it's decent.
I love the works of H.P. Lovecraft. He was a shit person, so I have to kind of take that with a grain of salt.
Okay.
So yeah. Right. Now these
I like the spooky beers for October.
Yeah. So the brewery that I'm pouring from here is that they're known for their stouts. That's one of the things they have. I actually had two of them that they did a Revenge of the Stouts last weekend, and I bought one called Hell and one called Abyss, but they were crowlers, and I didn't want to be hammered on the show, so that's probably a good idea.
It is Friday.
Look how that pours.
Look how that pours.
Wow.
Black as coffee.
Like motor oil.
You're impressing the guests, Doug. We rarely do that.
Yeah.
I love a dark beard, so.
So Lauren says, White Man Watch really does sound gross.
Yeah, it does.
It is.
It's
basically, that's American history for you.
Our friend JG has posted people in the comments. That is the link, right, Mallory, to the pre-order signed book, and the is that the same link to the koozie thing?
No. So what you do is if you pre-order at that link, send it to Girly Drinks Koozie, KOOZIE @gmail.com, and that's how you get entered into the. I just randomly pick one person a week. So
cool. Doug, what is this one?
This is Lovecraftian Love Language, the Rylam, which is just a stout. It's 11%. It's not a small guy. Also, I have a freaking fruit fly flying in front of me, so pardon that. But yeah, this is really just nice, and the roasty isn't too heavy. It's not that. It's pretty smooth. It's a little sweet. Almost tastes like it's bourbon barrel aged, even though it's not. So really good.
Excellent. And before we get to Mallory's first book, I have a question for Mallory, which is, we normally don't ask personal questions, and this is I hope you don't feel I hope you don't feel it is, because I don't think it is, but you and your boyfriend are kind of, you're on Twitter, and and so I was, when I was looking you up, I found him through your Twitter, and I was looking at everything and all y'all, and
he's also a writer. He's a comics writer.
Yes, and that sets up my question very, very well. No, but what I am is I'm interested in relationships, and so does he having a creative partner almost like an equal? How does that affect your creativity? Meaning,
in a good way.
Yeah. Okay. So meaning, like, so like I can just imagine y'all hanging out on a Friday night like this, and if you don't have any obligations, it's a long week. You have your bourbon, and you're literally sitting next to someone who is creative as you. There are times where we have people who are very creative on the show that don't have partners that are either as I don't want to say as creative, but not in that creative realm.
Yeah, no, I know. I know
having to
what you mean.
Right. And we had Chuck Wendig on this wonderful program.
I love Chuck.
We love him too.
And I know you were reading his book because you said it on one of your podcasts.
You can't lose when you're buying a Chuck Wendig book.
So I'm not sure about him, but I'm pretty sure that he doesn't have a creative equal, with his partner.
No, I don't. His wife's not a writer.
Right. There we go. Right. So my point is that, like, how does that affect, you and I? We can't speak for him, but maybe you can. But how does that affect you as far as being in this creative process? Does he help? Is it like, y'all just sit down and talk about different crazy things, or how does that work? I just thought it was an interesting dynamic, so that's why I wanted to point it out. We normally don't try to talk about personal things,
no,
that's
please.
why I leave it.
I am obsessed with my boyfriend, so please, I am always happy to talk about him.
Okay, cool.
Directly above me in our house right now, texting me the updates from our hockey game.
Oh man.
Well, so I will say my boyfriend also likes to drink as much as I do. He's more of a Scotch person. If he could just like inhale smoke, he would. He's huge. Huge beer person. If you folks want to have him on, he would be really happy to.
Please,
that'd be great.
Really, really into beer.
Yes.
Really,
Yes.
It was funny the other day. He got. I was.
Yes, please.
Because we just, our fridge is. We both live like divorced dads. Like neither of us cook that much, so our fridge is like beer, cocktails, and then like a little bit of oat milk, and then a packet of ramen. Like, I'm not kidding. And like we're both like divorced dads. And one of my favorite beers, like dessert beers, is the Mother Earth Cali Creamin', because it's just so good. And he got me the nitro version of it, and I didn't realize that there was like a whole rigmarole that you had to do to pour it on the side of the can. I just like grabbed it and cracked it open. I was like, oh, sweet, Callie cream it. And Jeremy was like, no. You have to let it sit. You have to turn it upside down 3 times, and then you have to let it sit for a while, and you have to pour it into a glass. You can't drink that out of a can, Mallory. And I was like, oh, okay. He's like super into beer. So please, he would love to have it on. But it's
love to have him.
I mean, honestly, it's the greatest thing in the world. We are each other's first readers. We constantly talk about what we're writing. It helps a lot now because the first year that we lived together, we lived first in a studio apartment together, and then in a 1-bedroom in the pandemic. So it was sort of tough just being like, I mean, we heard each other pee for like a year, and then we moved away from LA, and now we have our own, we live in a house up in the mountains, and we each have an office, which makes things a lot easier for us.
And it's gorgeous. The views you have are fabulous.
Yes.
I definitely miss Los Angeles. I miss getting food delivered, and I miss Taco Bell, but it's worth it. It's definitely worth it. But it's fantastic. Jeremy writes first thing in the morning. I have changed my schedule a little bit to write first thing in the morning. And then he goes for a walk in the afternoon. I power lift, and then we have dinner and drink beer or scotch or bourbon, and then watch stuff together and read at night. It's the best. I talk about all my ideas with him. He talks about all his ideas with me. And I know not all creative couples are like that. Some people like to be very separate.
Right.
We have never worked together. There are no plans to. He writes comics and horror. I write nonfiction. And we just like have no plans to do that. But it's amazing. I mean, I will say he's not the first writer I've ever dated. So it's not
David
always
Foster Wallace.
I have dated other writers, and it has not worked out so well. I do think a part of the reason, a big part of the reason why it works out so well is that he's just fantastic and super supportive. And, when he's on deadline, I take care of everything. When I'm on deadline, he takes care of everything. We're just very, very supportive of each other, and we get each other. Sometimes he'll come in and like, I won't want to say anything. And he's like, what's up? But I'm just like, I'm thinking about writing, just go away. And he's like, yeah, I get it. Okay, cool. It just works out. And we also, again, we have the same taste in booze. So it really, really, he always comes home with some kind of cool beer for me. So I love it.
That's cool. Can we talk about your next project, or we can't talk about that?
Sort of. I'm on deadline for another nonfiction right now. It is for children. It's so I'm not allowed to swear in this one, which is pretty tough. But it is a middle grade book, another feminist nonfiction. I can't tell you what it is. I will say it's very unique. And then this week I pitched a new adult nonfiction, another feminist deep dive into another subject to my editor. So
excellent.
A few things in the works.
Doug, I tried.
No, that's okay. And the thing is how it is. You got, if they're creative, and especially the thing is like book stuff is like a lot of smoke and mirrors until you're ready to just open the door.
Well, it's really about, I can't do it until my publisher announces it, until we announce like the deal has come out. So I'm just waiting for that. I actually think it's going to happen soon. So hopefully that'll happen. But yeah, it is a very fun, very unique project.
Well, I hope you let our group know, because a lot of the guys that are in our group that talk and hang out are fathers, and it's not just guys.
This is definitely going to be something you want to get for your daughters. Not to toot any horns, but I'm very excited. It's an instructional book, I will say, and it is very fun.
No, I'm going to tell you, like, we had Amanda Dybert on here, and she and her wife Kat Staggs do like comic books and a lot of different. Like, she wrote for He-Man and like all this, like, on Netflix and stuff. So
awesome.
She was talking about, like, what was it? It was Teen Titans. Like, she wrote a book for that. And like one of the guys like, oh, my daughter loves that book. So like we have a bunch of folks in our sphere that are
Dad
really
power
into
is
that.
Strong.
Yeah. Excuse me?
Dad power is strong.
That power is strong. And Daniel Fisher just pre-ordered your book. So thank you, Daniel.
Oh, thank you. Let me know. And I might pick you to get a koozie.
There we go.
Yeah, Daniel's like the guy who knows everything in our crowd. Like,
and he's about to know everything about women and women in history and booze too.
And I don't mean that in a negative sense. That guy, you go, hey man, I have a question about this, and he just fucking knows it. I don't know how he does. Like, he just knows a lot of shit about a lot of shit. I don't know.
I will say that my goal for this book was to be for for Girly Drinks to be one of those reads where while you're reading it, you just want to go to a party and be like, hey, did you know? Hey, can I tell you something? I just wanted to be one of those like cool fact books. So
yes.
Yeah.
Or go on, Doug. Sorry.
No, I was going to say that the whole thing about Bessie Williamson, because I run in some circles with the folks that drink scotch.
Let me see if I can let me get one of my hard copies and I can show you what she looked like.
Yeah, because I didn't see that obviously in the ARC with an advanced reader copy. Yeah, but
Doug, and I'm normally not like this, but we need to get on to her next book.
Yes,
After
like we're getting ready to talk about when Chuck was on and we had him and he was talking about Dust and Grimm, which is coming out next week.
Oh yeah, I have. There's Bessie.
Look at that.
Badass.
And the Lefroy thing looks fairly similar to what it looks like today. Like,
so, yeah, these are what the final copies look like. They got the fancy glossy.
Badass.
And,
the dust cover and all that.
Yeah.
They have a bunch of really cool photos and fun historical stuff in there.
Badass.
Badass is right.
Right. So, Doug, I want to make sure that we touch on this. And because I know you want to talk about this stuff or no?
I do, because this is one I didn't get to read. And one of my friends, Alan, was like a crazy fan for this book because he's into all kind of the retro movies and all that kind of, like, he loves all that stuff. And I told him that we were having you on the show and he about lost his shit. So
That's so nice. That's so exciting.
But so Millicent Patrick, can you give us a little, like, obviously we're limited on time, but like, can you give us a little background on that? And folks, you can order that. That's another great book to deep dive on. So
Lady from the Black Lagoon is sort of like Julie and Julia, but for weirdos. It is the biography of a woman named Millicent Patrick, and she's the one who designed the creature from the Black Lagoon. The reason why up until very recently people didn't know that is because her credit was stolen by her jealous boss at the Universal Monster Studios, and her legacy was buried for over 60 years. And the reason why it's like Julie and Julia is because it's sort of part biography, part detective story, because I take readers on the journey with me to find her. So I also write about the process of all the research I did, all the discoveries I made, because up until I wrote this book, people didn't even know if she was still alive or not. After she worked on Creature from the Black Lagoon and got her credit stolen, she never worked in behind the scenes in Hollywood ever again. She, like, you know, as far as yes, yeah. And so it was very difficult. I again spent, I think it was 3 years investigating her, researching her, and it's all about, if you like monster movies, sci-fi movies, old Hollywood. She also was one of the first female animators for Disney, which I found out, which was really, really cool. And so there's a lot of Disney history in there, a lot of California history, along with I bring readers on the journey with me. So you get to go into the archives with me and make some cool discoveries with me. I wanted to tell people my story a little bit because before I became an author, I was a filmmaker for many years. And it's so easy right now to be like, oh, well, yeah, this guy did this shitty thing to this woman in the 1950s. Like, why does it matter? Well, it matters because it's still happening to women right now, like as we speak. You know, it's not an old thing. So I really wanted to show people in my experiences and to not be able to write off the things that happened to her by saying, look, here's something that happened to me 6 months ago. So, but again, there's a lot of there's possibly more swearing in Lady from the Black Lagoon. There are pictures. I do narrate that audiobook as well. There's also a ton of dad jokes.
Sweet.
Dad jokes.
Perfect for our
crowd, I'm telling you.
Perfect for our fucking crowd.
Yeah, it is. It's definitely not like a biography you normally read.
So, Doug, unless you have a follow-up about the book, I want to get to what I want to talk about.
Yes, please. I know. We talked about books for 45 minutes, so let's get to what you want to do, man. Sorry, this was me deep diving on shit.
No. And this is all stuff that we need to cover. But what I enjoyed the most, and I was able to consume the most about you was your podcast. I really, really think it's approachable. It's fun. I just jumped in on it. But what the ladies are trying to do here, I'm talking to the people who are watching, is y'all bring reading closer to people. I like how I can go down on your podcast and I can just find different issues that hit readers. And one of them was it, how to be a better reader. I needed that podcast. It was really, really fun. I like the one where you guys talked about how you could dial up. We could call at a book, and you were talking about
numbers. Yeah, I mean, we really wanted. It was funny when we pitched the book podcast. Some people really didn't get it because we were like, "All right, we want to do a book podcast and not talk about books," because the book, Reading Glasses, we don't review books on it. It doesn't matter what you read. It doesn't matter if you read comics or romance novels or horror books or whatever you read. It doesn't matter if you read one book a year or 1,000 books a year. We're very anti-book snoot. What we wanted to do was talk about reading itself and talk about, well, what's the best book like? How do you get a book back from someone who borrowed it without being, rude? How do you dry off a book that gets wet? What's the best way to, how do you read more? How do you read more things that you like? So we wanted it to be, this is sort of something that I do with everything that I do. I just want everybody to feel welcome in the reading world. And there's a lot of people I feel like, they see people who are hardcore readers and they're like, oh, well, I don't read really fast, or I can only read a few books a year. Like, I'm not a reader. I don't belong in that community. Yes, you fucking do. Okay.
Mm-hmm.
You don't have to read 100 books a year to be considered a reader. And again, we do swear a lot, but it's all, and you can skip around. We designed it that way.
Yes.
We really wanted it, and we do interviews. We do interview authors and people in the book industry. That's pretty fun, but it's just, we wanted people to have more fun with reading. So we found that from the years of doing the podcast, so many people their reading lives get decimated by grad school, and after college they just stop reading, and we get that, and we're here to help. We're here to bring you back.
Yeah, y'all cover everything, and you cover a lot, and it's really, really fun. I still have to get to the one I'll probably get to it tomorrow. The sniffing books thing. Don't ruin it for me, Mallory.
We had to do an episode about why people sniff books. We did a scientific
Doug, do you
dive.
sniff books?
We did a scientific dive onto why people like to sniff books, and it's
I know nothing about it. Don't ruin it. Don't stop talking.
I have no science. I just know that's why I prefer having. It's not just a physical, tangible book in my hand. It's also, there's just a weird thing about fresh book. It's like if somebody likes the smell of gasoline or fresh tire. It's a dumb smell, but for some reason that just speaks to you in a weird way.
Well, I would explain why, but I don't want to spoil it.
No, don't spoil it for Greg.
No. And I want everybody to run and find it and look at the podcast and subscribe and all that. Doug, I have one final question for Mallory, if that's all I can fit in here, and it's this one. It's a multi. There's a couple questions here, Mallory. So
it's not one, you liar. What do you?
Well, again, I gotta fit in. I gotta fit it all in, but it's going to be relevant, and I just want to make sure that Mallory is ready for this. So, one thing that fascinates me the most about reading culture is libraries. And libraries, when I was coming up, it was my favorite fucking place to be. It was my place to go. It was my place to find everything. It was information. Hell, it was kind of like a hangout too. But those people kept telling me to shut up. So, where do you see libraries social cause nowadays? Do you feel it's deteriorated? Where do you think, where's libraries' impacts even going forward? Because it even used to be a place where people would gather. And now I don't feel it's that way. Also, do you care that people can talk in a library now? Because people can talk in a library now. It doesn't seem like it's shame, shh. Libraries are some of the loudest effing places that I go to nowadays. And I'm like, what? And the kids are running around. And the one in Madison, it's amazing, Doug. It's you walk in and it's almost it feels like Apple Studios. They got cut out walls and the kids have iPads, and it's just a crazy different place than what it was when I was a kid. So I just want you to, I know that there's a couple podcasts that you all talk about libraries. And I didn't
We're
get to them yet.
very pro library, and
But
really,
yeah, where's your whole thing on the library? Just
the function
download
of
them.
libraries has really changed with the advent of computers, and nowadays, so much of library, because of computers specifically, libraries have really stepped in where a lot of our social services have failed, especially since in recent years there's been so many social services in our country have been gutted. So it's places for where homeless people can go. It's places where people who are looking for jobs can use the internet. It's places where people who can't afford the internet can use the computers. It's place like librarians provide so many more services than helping you find a book. There are librarians where you can rent out handymen. There are libraries where you can rent out vacuums and large pieces of equipment. We've had listeners to the show write in to say that their libraries rent out bakeware. Like if you want to bake a specific cake, they have a library of cookware for you to check out. And it's sad that so many of libraries' budgets are under attack right now, which is something that really, if you're curious, pay attention to what's going on in your community, because again, librarians fill in these places where really people who don't have anywhere else to go can get some help, use the Wi-Fi, use the bathrooms, get help with all sorts of social services. It's really, really incredible. So now the job of, we think of librarians as, women with, buns and pencils in their hair and cat eye glasses and like finding books for people. And that's a little bit of a part of it. But really nowadays, librarians are expected to, like, people drop their kids off there, and whether or not they should, and people really rely on them to fill in the gaps that the government doesn't help people with. So, it's so much more about computers. The things that you can rent movies, like you can stream movies. There's a thing called Canopy that you can get from a lot of libraries, and it's basically like free Netflix. I mean, they don't have as much. You can read comics on Hoopla. I get almost all my audiobooks through the library via an app called Libby. I mean, I probably save thousands of dollars a year through the library. Personally, as a nonfiction author, I couldn't do what I do without the library. If I had to buy all those 700 books that I read for Girly Drinks, I would have spent my entire advance, but I got almost all of them through the library. And so wow. I think it's indispensable. And the thing that I think is very cool is that libraries have really leaned into their changing role in society, and have made, because there's so many homeless people that go to libraries, because it's really the only place that they can go. Now people send, those awesome trucks that give unhoused people haircuts and showers. They just park it at the library, and it's really become this incredible thing. And I don't think librarians get paid enough. I don't think libraries get as much budget as they need to. So again, pay attention to what's going on in your local community, and I guarantee you that one of the hubs of help and community is your local library.
Boom. Doug, how do you follow that up?
I don't know. That was great.
Libraries. I love them.
Right. We'll go to a library this weekend. Yes.
No, I've seen some of the things you talked about, Mallory, with all the other parts. I didn't realize the baking stuff. That's great. Honestly, it becomes a resource for folks that just don't have resources, and that's really great. I just wish it wasn't looked at as well, we don't really need that. Yeah, we have talked a lot on this show about just the way we've kind of thrown people aside, and it really sucks. Not to be a downer. So anyway, let's talk about weightlifting, because oh
my God, that's all I ever want to do is talk about powerlifting.
Well, that's the thing is that is not something that you hear a lot of women talk about. It's you and the other person I've seen and they coincidentally are an author is Madeline Rue,
who's also my friend.
Yeah, and you guys talk about, and I'm like, that is fucking rad.
It's funny because I only know women powerlifters. I don't know any male powerlifters. I obviously know that they're out there, but
yeah, they're out there.
Yeah, but it's
let's not talk about them. They got plenty of platform. Let's talk about you.
I got a video that's weightlifting there.
Do you lift?
No, but I have a video. I have a video to show you if you would like to see and opine on it.
all I ever do, my poor boyfriend has to, like, whenever the Olympics are on, like, all I want to do is watch weightlifting, which is not an exciting sport to watch if you aren't into it. And my poor boyfriend, poor Jeremy, has to watch like hours and hours of people doing the exact same thing over and over while I am like wrapped watching the screen.
Okay, so then you can give an opinion on this.
Is this gonna, hold on, is this gonna be gross?
No.
Okay.
Not gross, but maybe in some ways.
Why is he doing that?
I'm recording my back.
So I don't even know this dude, and I am confused as hell of what's going on, because I don't understand why he's cursing me out and stuff. So, but he continues to stare at me and flip me off and mouth things to me. So I just had to say something.
The answer is yes.
I don't know, you're talking, buddy. Talking across the fucking gym. What do you think? What you talking about? I don't know. What are you talking about?
What is up?
Fuck you. Yeah, I'll fuck you up, pussy. Yeah. Fuck you.
Dudes are idiots.
Yes. But hold on. I got a couple questions for Mallory. First of all, is it wrong for him to have his shirt off in the gym?
It is. Most gyms require you to wear a shirt, also because women aren't allowed to wear. The thing that's frustrating for women is that women aren't allowed to wear just sports bras. Like,
Really?
Yeah. Yes. So it's very frustrating when you have to wear both a sports bra and a full shirt, and guys are allowed to walk around without their shirts on, and you're like, what the fuck? But obviously that other man needs to get launched into the sun, because fuck him forever.
Yes, absolutely. And I just, as a power lifter, as someone who goes to the gym, I was like, whoa, I'm missing something here.
Yeah, you gotta keep your shirt on. I personally think that, like, sure, if guys want to have their shirts off, fine, but then that means that girls should be allowed to just wear sports bras.
Absolutely.
And those dipshits should not be fucking ogling you if you are not wearing your shirt. Like,
I miss my old gym. When I lived in LA, I went to Bodybuilders Gym in Los Feliz, which was like my mecca. I miss it so much. I was there at 5 a.m. every day, had my crew. But there was a very strict, like, you can't be photographing or videotaping anybody else if they like it's
right.
If you are seen doing that. I mean, they had that rule in place partially because, like, a lot of famous people, it's LA, a lot of famous people would work out there, but like
it's
anybody fucks with anybody, you're out. And that's like a thing I was very surprised about is that you would think that a lot of the powerlifting community would be really toxic and shitty. We're almost running out of time, but now we're talking about powerlifting and I can't stop. All the powerlifters I know and the powerlifting communities I know are amazing. They're just like, people are super supportive. Like I used to have my group of people that I would work out with at dawn every day, and they were the most incredible, supportive, fantastic people. And it was very hard to leave Los Angeles, mostly because of the gym. Now I live up in the middle of nowhere, and I had to build a gym in my garage. And it's okay. I still miss the gym. I miss my friends. It is nice that I can wear a sports bra, and I can blast my metal, and I don't have to wear headphones. There are pros and cons.
Yes.
But I miss my friends. I miss my lifting friends. So I really do.
We have one more question for you. What are you watching, Mallory?
Doom Patrol.
Who?
Doom Patrol.
Doom Patrol. I mean, obviously, I'm biased because my boyfriend used to write that comic, and we started watching it because he was so excited because when the show came out, he was still writing Doom, and then we both became completely obsessed with the show. It is a superhero show, and it's the only superhero thing I've ever liked. I'm not a superhero person, but it's just so both fucked up and incredibly wholesome and like vulgar and deeply empathetic and absolutely hilarious and so weird. It's like nothing else that you've ever seen. It's on HBO Max now, and it is, you don't have to have read the comics at all. It is very diverse. It's very gay. It's very sexy. It's just so cool. It's unlike anything you've ever watched. And yeah, we watched it's currently the third season just started. We just watched the latest episode last night, and I cannot recommend Doom Patrol enough.
And what does your boyfriend do as far as Doom Patrol is?
So he used to be the co-writer with Gerard Way of Doom. I think there was 3 volumes they co-wrote together, and right now he's writing on Buffy the Vampire Slayer. But he used to co-write. Doom Patrol is not currently coming out, but the latest run with Gerard Way that's what Jeremy worked on.
Excellent. And the last question, Doug, you want to ask it or can I? Is there anything that you left out? Anything that we left out? Anything that you want to say? Anything that we missed about you?
Yeah, before we let you go.
Yeah, any of that. And then after that, we will let you fly off into the sunset of the mountains.
I mean, well, I'll ask you. I mean, is there anything you wanted to ask me about metal, powerlifting? Any questions about that? I mean, also hockey. I'm a huge hockey fan, but
who you watching down there in Southern California hockey wise?
Oh, we were for 2 teams. We are Caps fans. Washington Capitals for the men's league, and the Boston Pride for the women's league. My boyfriend's from Maryland, so he grew up watching the Caps. So we're huge Caps fans. Although my favorite player, Brendan Dillon, just got traded to the Winnipeg Jets, so now I have to be a Jets fan, which is like, but I love my Dilly. I have to watch him. I'm from the Boston area, in case you couldn't tell by my accent. So we also have to root for the Boston Pride, who won the Isabel Cup last year, which was fantastic. Love watching women's hockey. But yeah, it's very funny that we're in Southern California rooting for the Caps, and like my least favorite team ever is the Bruins. I fucking hate the Bruins, so I'm drunkenly screaming at the Bruins in my Boston accent here in Southern California while they play the Capitals.
Yes, that's awesome.
Yeah. But I love them. They're beautiful sons, and I just found out Jeremy just texted me from upstairs. We won the last preseason game against the Philadelphia Flyers. I'm very pleased. Go Caps. But yeah, if you have any other questions about other weird shit that I like.
No, I'm sorry.
We have a lot, but I think what we need to do is figure out how to have you on another time, because we have a lot more we want to dig into.
Yes,
like metal is important, like your crowdsourced metal playlist, your goth playlist, all that stuff.
Oh yeah,
and I want to get into your history with we had a horror podcaster on, and our comments went out of control. And
I'm always happy to talk about horror. That's where you're in for a really long time.
That's your bread and butter. But I'm sorry, you have to categorize that. But from reading you and doing the research on you, it feels like that's where you came from, is horror. And it's interesting that you don't write about that. So,
well, I mean, Lady from the Black Lagoon is all about women.
Oh,
yeah.
My bad. You're right.
So it's all about monsters, women in monsters, women in horror. So if you are, when am I writing a book about women in?
Who says she's not? Who? We don't know We don't know, JHT.
There actually is. There is a really, really great book about women in metal. I'm trying to remember the name of it. Hold on.
Oh, JHT's gonna.
We're keeping you long, but this is great, honestly.
Oh no, this might be a game changer. He's the Bruins.
He's a Bostonian. So.
No. I'll go further.
I'm fucking Boston, okay? But the Bruins are the dirtiest team in the fucking league. Brad Marchand could go die in the sewer.
Mallory, it's fine. He's a masshole, and it's fine.
I'm a masshole. I'm a very proud New Englander. I'm from Massachusetts. I grew up in the Boston area. The best thing about the Boston Bruins was Zdeno Chara, and we got him. Unfortunately, now the Islanders have him, but that's fine. But there's a book called "What Are You Doing Here" by Lena Dawes that's all about women in heavy metal that I highly recommend. Again, it's called What Are You Doing Here by Lena Dawes. And so if you're looking for a book on women in metal, that's a great one.
Excellent.
I love
Hey,
it. I love it. So, Doug?
Mallory, I know you got to head out. You've got a
Yep.
million things going on. Your book's coming out, but really, thank you. We'd love to have you back sometimes. We can bullshit for
Yeah.
a lot of different things. This has been great, but
What we should do is have me and my boyfriend back so you can
that
ask
would
him
be
about
awesome.
comics and beer. I would
Yes.
100% do that.
Please.
Yes.
Doug, you're going to set all that up.
All right.
Yeah, I have events basically through mid-December.
Hey,
But
Greg books people out for like 5 months at a time. So
Oh,
yeah,
okay.
we're great.
Sweet. Yeah, sometime in late December, early I don't know about early January. Late December I could do.
Okay. And if it has to wait till February, that's fine. As long as we can schedule y'all, that would be
That'd be awesome.
fantastic. Yes. Yes,
Well,
have them both back.
Happy
Yes.
to come back. I'll come back with beer and with Jeremy.
And I will do a show just with Scotch because I'd be happy to talk.
He
with him
will
about
be
that.
able to talk to you forever about Scotch.
Yeah, I got
So
ideas to send you.
right
So
now.
I will message you to talk to him about this couple of the scotches I have over here in my liquor cabinet. So yeah.
Oh yeah.
Follow him on Twitter, Doug. You can find him through her.
Yeah, I got to do
that's
that.
How
too,
That's how I did the stalking.
Yeah.
we are very public writer couple.
No,
yes. So Doug, you say the final words, and
yeah,
we'll
just thank you for being on, and thank you for writing this book. Seriously, we need, and we've talked a lot about the show. Like Greg and I had started the show. We've been on like going on 3 years, and the first year was just it was a mess, and it was great. We had a lot of fun, and then I was like, hey,
that shows.
Yeah, but we needed to like find her, and I was like, we need to find more diverse folks. And he was like, absolutely. And then we just started getting a whole different swath of people on. And it's really important for us. Like there's a million, and I've said this on this show a million times, a million people that look like me, but we need people that don't look like me to talk about what they're passionate about. So it's been great. So thank you again for being on.
Hell yeah. Have me and Jeremy on. It will be a blast.
Oh, it will be.
Thanks, Mallory, and good luck to everything launching your book.
Oh,
I know you got some public events going and all that. So good luck.
Yeah, if you're in Los Angeles, I am launching the book in person on the 21st, and then I have 2 big virtual events. One of which is with a female-owned and run distillery. I can't. We haven't booked the date yet, so I can't announce it. But I'm wicked excited about it. And I will.
There's the Boston.
Follow her on Twitter.
The more I get into this, the more the Boston comes out for sure.
Yes. The quote of this is, "I'm a masshole too." I love it. Fantastic. You are a friend of the show. You're a friend of ours. And again, I want to thank you as we let you go. We don't want to, but we have to. Bye, Mallory. It was awesome.
Please have me back on. It will be a blast.
Yep.
Please
we'll be
come
in contact. Please take care and great. And
thanks, Mallory.
Thank you again for the book. Take care.
Thank you. Have a good night.
Yep, you too. Dog, it was awesome. Man, I don't know how you follow that one up. Yeah, wicked fucking awesome. Yes.
Yeah, she's saying wicked fucking. That was the best.
Yes.
Hey, so listen.
Good luck. Good.
Yeah.
Yes.
So you got to talk to her about what she watched. What about you? Do you have something that you've been watching?
No, I don't, but you do. Or, I mean, I do, but I wasn't prepared for the segment.
No, that's okay. Oh, you're the one who suggested it. God damn it.
Oh, it doesn't. But I knew that time was short, Doug. So like,
it was.
Screw my dumb ideas. We can
figure this out. How about do you have a third beer? Because I do.
Yeah, but you have something what we're talking about, right?
Yes, Midnight Mass.
What's going on with that?
It's a 7-episode miniseries, and it's made by the folks. Well, half of the folks who worked on the same people who worked on the Haunting of Hill House. The lady that's on there was actually in the Haunting of Hill House. So it is really, really, really good. And again, I wish we had Mallory for a little longer so we could talk horror stuff, but this was a horror show, but it is a religious horror show. And again, I know people are going to make fun of me for saying horror because I can't say it right, but horror. When I say this, horror, I sound like I'm an idiot. So I just say horror, and then I sound more like an idiot. But anyway, what they do is the show does a great job of weaving religion and horror in a way that I'm not going to ruin it if you haven't seen it. It's 7 episodes. Each episode is an hour or so. It's completely worth your watch. I highly suggest that one.
Sweet, man, sweet. So we have, I have an Allagash beer actually.
Oh, do you? What is? Ooh, it's like a Mondrian look. What is that?
This is one of those barrel and flow beers, bro.
Which, again, is at my parents. And
right, but this is a dark ale brewed with millet and smoked maple syrup.
Mm-hmm.
I guess. I'm not sure. I don't smell any. What's millet?
I do not know, but I'm curious.
Oh,
Now
but we have Daniel Fisher.
Yeah, let's ask Daniel Fisher because he will fucking know.
Right. Lauren, she's so cool. Yes, Mallory is
really fucking cool.
Yeah, I knew when it's another green type.
Okay.
I knew once
Daniel Fisher. Hey, what Daniel Fisher? Blah, 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 blah. Like, goddamn you! How do you know everything, Daniel? I love you, but no. Jesus, man.
No. We just need to. He needs to be. He needs to be our stat boy. Like, we just need to bring him on when we don't know shit, and he can just explain it.
We could have an episode called Daniel Fisher Knows, and just throw questions at him. What is this?
Yep. Oh wow. Okay. Wow, Doug. Okay, so it's a dark ale. It has that roastiness. Then you get the smoke, and it's smoky.
That is
then there's sweetness balance with the smoke that is initially off-putting, in my opinion, because you're used to when you drink a smoke beer, you're like, you just want the smoke. That's it. You're not looking for anything else. I'm getting a really a nice sweetness that balances the smoke.
See, that's the thing is, you're right. When you have smoke beer, generally, like it's all about the smoke, as opposed to like what's the flavor.
Sweetness, right? So the sweetness and the smoke are fighting. Does that make sense?
Yeah, but hopefully it's a good. Oh,
no, it's good.
Afro Beer Chick came in late. What the fuck, Afro Beer Chick? God damn it! You should have been here with Mallory. You should have been here. You should have been here with Mallory, because that would have been great to have her talking with Mallory about female representation and alcohol. Because
oh wow, yes, we went over this book, Girly Drinks, and the history of women in alcohol, and it's really I only read a chapter and it was eye opening. Yeah. I don't even know what's going to happen when. Yeah, ABC has been drinking bourbon, and
so is Mallory.
Right, ABC, I owe you a phone call. Yeah. We have to talk. Hopefully this weekend. I'm around. I will hit you up unless you are busy as hell. You usually are busy as hell, or sometimes you are on the weekend. I know that, or so such your social media. But this beer here, Doug, smoky and juicy, not juicy, I'm sorry, sweet. And the balance there is just, it's something. It's definitely not bad. It's just different. You never really have a smoky beer that has a sweet ending going out. I like it. I'm going to finish this one bad. And not that I don't finish beers, but I'm being very judicious about what I've been drinking lately. I'm not going to be judicious about this one. You got a third one?
I do. Left Hand S'mores Milk Stout.
Then I'm about to go off on a couple things.
Okay. Because I saw this today, and I'm not a s'mores fan. Let me clarify. I don't care for s'mores. I might be the only human on the planet that doesn't like s'mores. I don't like marshmallow. Marshmallow is cloyingly sweet.
So then why the hell did you buy that?
Because one, it's either female head brewer or female owned. I can't remember which. Two,
Okay, good answer.
I want to see if they can layer the flavors. That's actually an important thing. Like to me, if you can layer a s'mores beer, and honestly, Dragon's Milk made a s'mores beer one year that was the best s'mores beer I've ever had. But that's because you could get
I
the
fucking
layers of
hate
flavors. But they would layer, and that's the thing is, can you layer the flavors? Can you make that work? And it's not just a fucking car crash of sweetness. So part of me is like, this is gonna be cool, and part of me is like, this is gonna be a train wreck.
Well, let's see. Right. I am more s'mores, please. Hell yeah, I do. Oh, you phone call. I do. Let's do it this weekend for sure. Doug, I really didn't like that Dragon's Milk s'mores, but my family loved it. That was when we went over there, and my teenage kids liked it.
Yeah,
I gave
that
them
is
beer.
it
Sue me.
it was the
Yeah, I gave my teenage kids beer. Sue me. Go on, Doug.
dude. We have a kid in my house as a teenager that every show I give him a small sample of one of my beers, and he chooses.
Well,
which
sue
one he wants
Doug
to try.
too.
You can sue me,
Well,
and I give him literally like this, like it's just take a sample. And to me, it's like I'm not getting you drunk. What I'm giving you is an appreciation of different flavors.
I wish my kids would drink enough to get drunk. They take a sip and they're like, ugh, and then they go away. Like, drink that, drink it, damn it.
Get drunk so I don't have to deal with your ass.
Well, Well, that, and I rather them get drunk in my house than go somewhere and get drunk somewhere else, and who knows what's going on there. And no, my kids don't get drunk, and no, they don't drink here. And no, but I'd rather them. I got 118 now, so yeah, drink here. I don't give a shit. I'm not having your friends over to drink though. That's not going to happen. There's a whole lot of limitations to this. Speaking of limitations, is there any limit? That looks boozy. You look frozen. No,
I'm trying to figure out what I think of it. So
just say it's garbage. It's fine.
It's not garbage. It's not as good as some of the other s'more beers I've had. It's not as bad as some of them I've had.
Okay. I got it.
Chocolate and roast. And then in the end, you get a little bit of marshmallow flavor, very little graham cracker. And it's a graham cracker actually I'm looking for because it's a hard flavor to impart into a beer with a lot of different flavors. And again, on the aftertaste, it's almost all roast, which, hey, I'm cool with. I like roasty beers, so great. But if you're trying to make a s'more beer, it's missing the graham cracker for me.
Gotcha. I just want to say real fast, I won't spend too much time on this, but fuck John Gruden. Fuck John Gruden. Fuck John Gruden. And I just want, what does that mean? Well, John Gruden wrote this email about 10 years ago that says the Morris Smith has lips the size of Michelin tires. Well, you know what, John Gruden? Yeah, look, he wrote an email. He's been the most prominent figures ever that sent an email about the Morris Smith, the executive director of NFL Association, to a team executive. Gruden's email describes Smith with a racist trope and common anti-black imagery. The Morris Smith has lips the size of Michelin tires. Really? Well, you have. I don't even have words for this motherfucker. I do for transparency and for to be fair, the NFL has responded that the email from John Gruden's denigrating DeMaurice Smith is appalling, abhorrent, and wholly contrary to NFL values. We condemn the statement and regret any harm the publication may inflict on Mr. Smith.
All right, then punish him. Don't make a statement. Punish him.
Right, but they're going to say that he wasn't an employee of the NFL.
But he is. He's an employee of a franchise of the NFL.
But he wasn't when he made the said things.
And guess what? If a coach, hey, listen, as much as I fucking hate the Patriots with every fiber of my being, like Bill Belichick made a choice to do certain things and they got fined for that. $500,000 in lost draft picks.
Right.
How is that not worse? That is worse. That is fucking worse.
Right. Read it, folks. Read it.
The vast majority
Read
of
it.
the NFL is of people of color.
Right. And it's an email too. So it's there. Let's just not we're not gonna spend time worrying about whether he said it or
we
not.
can
He
all
said this.
agree that the worst head coach in the NFL is fucking Urban Meyer. But we can
I can argue that actually, but
I can't.
We'll
I can't.
let it
I'm
sit.
a Jags fan, and that fucker.
He's only like, how can you be the worst when you just showed up? Like, it's almost like, hey, it's my first. Hold on, it's my first day at work. I suck. I'm the worst. Like, I want to give him a little bit of time, but this dude is not. He's just not being helpful. Okay, so look, let's just move on to something that's a little bit lighter. If y'all got comments, JG said fire his ass. Oh, hi, Manny. How you doing, bro?
Manny?
What's up, Manny? You missed a good one. You're gonna have to rewind this one.
Rewatch that.
We had a badass guest on. She was fantastic. JG said, yeah, fire his ass. Let's go to something more fun. If Mallory almost got this pulled on her because she said something on these lines, and I know you don't know this is coming because we didn't talk about this. So
yeah, because you never fucking warned me.
Here you go.
Oh.
Megan Trainor and husband have side-by-side toilets. After making headlines at the revealing of her and her husband at toilets, Trainor insists they only poop together once. Okay, there's so many things to this. Because didn't Mallory say, oh yeah, I heard him pee. Okay. Obviously, Megan Trainor is she's a woman that makes a lot of money. How about that? And
yeah,
so she's
not hurting for loot.
Right. So my point is that she can make a bathtub or a bathroom big enough that you could have side-by-side toilets. Okay, not everybody has that luxury. I just want everybody to put themselves in that sphere, meaning if you could have side-by-side toilets, comment section, please answer. If you could have side-by-side toilets, would you have side-by-side toilets?
No, but what I think would be funny about that is just trying to stink the fucking spot up to make your partner be like, what the fuck are you doing?
Okay.
Just like, let me make this the raunchiest thing that why am I here? This smells like hot tires.
You made a lot of assumptions. Right.
And she's like, we only pooped together once. I'm like,
right. Like she's justifying it that by that.
So, okay, so no, wait. Is that a kink?
I would not if they in that bag.
Oh man.
So, boy, so then you went through the process of getting them two together and then you only poop together once? Like, listen, if you did that, wouldn't you just go to the bathroom more? Isn't that the whole purpose of it?
I have a question.
I've lost everything, Doug. I don't understand.
No, I have a question for all of us.
I don't understand it.
Do you talk to your partner if they are on the toilet, but you're not in the room? You're not in the room. Hey, blah 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 blah, and they're on the toilet. Do you ever do that, or do you wait?
I have.
I'm not saying you're like having like an active conversation, like, "Hey, what do you think about the chances of the Red Sox this year?" I'm not talking about anything in depth. I'm talking like, "Hey, what do you think about the Mars rover?" Like, no, I'm talking about like, "Hey, I need to go to the store and get this," and they're like, "Okay," and then you move on. Like, do you do that?
Yes.
Okay.
Yes. We have one of those bathrooms off the side of the bedroom. So then
you have an ensuite.
Right. She could be in there and I could knock on the door and say, hey, I'm taking the boys out on a walk. And then I'll just walk out. But I never see her. And I never.
So you've never seen your partner go to the bathroom?
Yes. I didn't say that. I just said, but I'm not trying to run up on you when you're in the bathroom, Doug. So I don't understand this whole, like, is this going to be a new thing on House Hunters? I need my granite countertops, my 2 sinks, and I need my 2 fucking toilets. Because what if you're a mess like me, you pee all on the toilet, Doug? Now, would that be, no. Maybe that's it. Maybe he pees all over the toilet. She's tired of that shit. And it's not about them pooping together. It's just her about having her own space where she doesn't have to deal with your pee all over the toilet.
All right. First of all, you need to get control of your wiener, homie. That's not okay.
Look, man, I'm getting old.
Or sit down. Sit down and pee.
No.
Oh my god, dude, it's the best. It's the best. It's the best. I wake up in the morning. Hey, man, I go into the toilet and pee in the morning. You know why? I have to worry about spraying everywhere when I'm not even awake. It's the best.
I'm pretty sure I said if I pee all over. I didn't say I did.
It sounded like you said you did, but that's okay. We love you anyway.
No, Greg, you sit down, not stand. Why?
Hey, listen.
What about tissues? Tissues. You clean that shit up. What's the problem? Listen, it's not always a straight shot, dude. Am I wrong?
No, it isn't, and that's why you sit down in the morning.
But listen, what happens if you don't sit down and it happens? You just let it go?
No, you clean up after yourself.
Okay. So then, why
you're
can't that be the whole process?
It sound like it's an occurrence every time you have to pee. Like you're like,
listen, y'all making that shit up. I mean, I didn't say that shit. I'm saying, but listen, I'm saying in the context of Meghan Trainor, I'm saying maybe he does that.
Yeah, that's fair.
She's tired of that shit, so she has her own, just like she has her own, her own sink. Isn't this why we want double sinks in House Hunters? Because she has her stuff and I have mine, and I don't want to have her makeup all over my shit. Well, maybe I don't want to have his pee all over my shit. Maybe that's what it is. Maybe he doesn't clean up. I'm just saying. Y'all all put that on me.
No. I think the double sink thing is one of the dumbest requirements in House Hunters.
Yes!
It is literally the dumbest. Like, hey, if you can't figure out, now listen, if you have a family of 8 and you have one bathroom, yeah, that's a fucking problem. But if you have 2 bathrooms, it's a family. Guess what? No problem. Make a fucking schedule. Figure your shit out.
Right.
This bullshit where it's like, well, I can't get ready next to you. Are you fucking kidding me?
Dude, I don't think they have a wall between them, JHG. I'm pretty sure. Again, I'm not.
That would be funny if it was a wall and then they had.
I don't know. Apparently, this is out there because it was out there and it was like trending on Twitter or something.
Yeah.
And everybody was talking about it. So, JHG, if you Google Meghan Trainor, I'm sure you can find out the dirty details, literally. But I'm pretty sure they weren't like, there was no wall. They just had two vanities. Like 2 vanities, 2 sinks, 2 toilets right next to each other so they can hold hands or something while they're pooping or something. And she even said they only pooped once together. I'm not pooping. I am not Googling that shit. Okay. I'm just telling you where you can get the information. How far down the drain is this conversation going? Absolutely. I just realized I should have said she's all about
Love you. So my teenager had a
I'm all about that bass. Don't sing it, damn it. I just did. Damn it.
So my teenager just had a sip of the s'mores beer and said the same thing. There's no graham cracker in that. So, and that's the only taste of anything he's had tonight. So it's not like
the graham cracker is part. That's it. It's really important.
If you're gonna make a s'more beer, it has to be a s'more, and part of the s'more is a graham cracker. So
right. This must be signaling a new album, right? Something's going on with Meghan Trainor that we have to talk about, right. I don't know. I just bumped over on Google, or I bumped over on Twitter, just right before we started the stream, and I saw it. It popped up, and I was like, "What? We got to talk about this." And then Mallory said something about how I heard my boyfriend pee, and I was like, I was about to drop that on her, but we didn't. I knew we were limited time. If we didn't have limited time, Doug, I would have dropped that on her for sure. But Doug, we don't have limited time, so I can show you this stream.
Yes, please show me what the fucking shit you were going to show me.
Hey! Buddy!
Hey, you know what? If that fucking dog came after me like that and I could grab a fucking piece of wood to protect myself, I fucking would.
Yeah, but okay, so many questions. Who built that?
That is a shitty. That is a shitty banister. Holy shit!
Right, that and why is every single attack dog, in my opinion, because that was kind of an attack dog, even though he didn't really finish it. He seemed like an attack dog. He jumped out the damn door, Doug. Why is every attack dog called Buddy? Like, it's such a nice name, and the dog's a fucking asshole.
It's almost like when you, but I don't think that their name was. I bet you their name was like fucking Scarf or something like that.
Right, like
a buddy, like, hey, buddy, come here. Like it's
like
more like
Demolition, or you remember Demolition from WWE Smash? Yes, Demolition, or no, it's Buddy. No, Buddy doesn't work. This dude's not. It might be your buddy. He's definitely not the mailman's buddy.
What if it was name was Feather? Come here, Feather.
Right.
Hey!
No. Oh my god, I hate. There's so much I hate about that. Like, she runs out, and again, it's generally I know I'm not gonna blame the lady. You know what I mean? Because dogs are just sometimes crazy. But then she's just like, buddy, like it's just nothing, and this dude's like, no. I don't know. Right. This is why I feel these videos are fakes. Like, somehow someone would die if they leaned on that railing. That railing just fell. I mean, it was just stuck. It didn't.
Hey!
It just collapsed like a house of cards.
Like it was balsa wood.
It was that. Right. And she didn't even care that the whole thing. She was at least worried about getting a dog.
She was not pressed about. I think she was more pressed about maybe, well, I'm going to get sued because this guy's going to get bit by my fucking dumbass dog.
Yeah, that railing.
And not that the dog's bad, just that, yeah. But to be fair, JHG, a lot of people put that shit up just because there's a thing with, like, when you buy a house, if you have a porch, if you don't have a railing up, that's actually a problem. They can't actually give you a loan for your house. So you can put some shitty piece of shit railing up just so it looks like a railing. It doesn't actually have to be a railing. It could be just some fake ass shit. So yeah.
Excuse me, I'm gonna need the government to replace my fence.
Fucking Manny. Hey, you know what? Here's the thing. We actually need to ask Manny. We are in spooky season. Spooky season is all about weird fucking Halloween cereals.
Yes.
So there's Frankenberry, Count Chocula, Blueberry.
Yes.
There's like a fucking.
Those used to be good, man. Those used to be premium fucking. Like, dude, anything with marshmallows in it to me was premium cereal.
Yeah, dude. I bought Frankenberry and Blueberry and Count Chocula, and then there was this one with the fucking werewolf. Manny, tell me what was the name of the werewolf that they had, and I cannot remember. And that was my favorite, and I can never remember that fucking cereal.
It was in the same line. It was
the same line. It was in the same line. It was a werewolf with like this weird striped shirt.
Frankenberry was bomb, man. I love Frankenberry. Frankenberry was great. Fruit Brute.
Oh man, Fruit Brute. Maybe that's what it was.
No, JC. Here's where you're wrong, bro. Yeah. So no Lucky Charms. JC, no.
I think Fruit Brute might be it.
Yeah, and then when Mallory comes back, we got to make sure we food shame her ass too.
Yeah, we didn't get to do that because it was so short, but yeah.
Right, but it sounds like we'll be able to when we get her.
And Manny is right. It is Fruit Brute. That is the name of it. And I just, it sounds not right, but it is definitely like the logo and everything.
And the mummy was Yummy Mummy.
Yummy Mummy, yes. God damn you, Manny. I love you.
No Lucky Charms. Why? Why, JC?
JGG, you know what he wants? He wants Triscuit in a bowl with milk.
Or were you a Kicks kid, JC? Were you in the Kicks?
No,
Like Kicks was
that shit sucked.
Yeah, but Kicks was like the best simple shit. How about that? Or was Kicks better than Cheerios stuff?
No, here's what I did with Cheerios. I dumped like 6 teaspoons of sugar on that.
No. I mean, I'm with you. I did that.
No. But then when you did that, you had the bowl and you finished Cheerios, and there'd be like a pound of fucking sugar at the bottom that you mix with the milk and eat it.
Right. Corn Pops.
I like Corn Pops, actually.
Yeah, Corn Pops. Corn Pops got some flavor to them. Right. That was his jam. Wait. Where is what, Manny? What are we talking about? So I'm gonna decline playing my last video. It's negative, and I don't want to be negative. It's really negative, though.
Yeah, let's not stick with the negative. We had a good night. Let's not do that. We can save it for another time.
Yeah, but I'm gonna scream about it on social media, though. It annoys me.
That's okay.
It annoys me even more than John Gruden, who really annoys me, actually. Shucky motherfucker.
That motherfucker that's saying that is not okay. Like I said, I fucking hate Urban Meyer. That he never said anything like that. So
no. Chocolate frosted face with marshmallows. What? Wow. Apple Jacks with marshmallows. The Addams Family. Yeah. Okay. Stay on the high note. All right. Because this video is infuriating. It's going to infuriate everyone who sees it. So we'll let it go. Infuriating, like angry.
Yeah, let's not infuriate folks. So let's not do that. Yeah.
I'll infuriate you in post-production, Doug. Doug, let's wrap here. So, you want to speak about next week's guest, though?
Yeah, let's do that. So next week's guest is a friend of mine named Jen Mann, who is funny as fuck.
Good. That'll work.
She is kind of famous for writing "People Want to Punch in the Throat."
Okay.
So, like, it sounds aggressive, but it's just very tongue-in-cheek.
A little
funny. But she's a mom of 2 kids in Kansas and is super progressive. And if you know anybody that's in Kansas, Kansas is not a progressive state, so it's pretty intriguing. So,
not really.
And Jen, I'm going to tell you, Jen is funny. She's engaging. She cares. Yeah, so it's just somebody that I said, all right, I'd like to have her on. You're like, great. And I was like, reach out. She's like, yeah, absolutely. And yeah, it's sometimes where I'll cast a line out. Mallory was one of these folks. I'm like, hey, we'd love to have you on. She's like, absolutely. I'm like, that was unexpected, but awesome. Great.
Yep. I'm tomorrow I'm going to figure out why y'all sniff books. But until then. So, Doug, this is pretty much, I could say that this will probably be, it's probably going to be my last public appearance of the whole year. Coming up, past guest news. Mr. Jeff Allworth is going to be in Madison over at Giant Jones this Wednesday, selling books and interviewing our friend, and we love her, Jessica Jones.
Mm-hmm.
And so they're going to have an interview podcast, I think, or something. And he's going to be selling books. He's going to be signing books. So it's going to be fantastic. It's going to be fun. And this will probably be, like I said, my only public event for the rest of the year. I need to stay at home, be cool, given that my condition is something that I don't want to mix with COVID. So, you have heart problems and then you have COVID, and those two don't mix at all. In fact, they mix like fucking oil and water. So I need to stay my ass home until we get this fucking COVID shit together. So I'm going to sneak out on Wednesday, and I probably won't be there for long. I do want to say hi to Jeff, and I miss Jessica and Erica. But yeah, Wednesday, Giant Jones, I believe the doors open at 7. They're normally not open. They're opening for Jeff to do this event. I helped facilitate this, and I'm proud of it because they're great people,
man.
all of them, all around. But at the same time, I need to go say hi, and I need to get the hell out of there. So, but Jeff is already on his tour. If you go to beervana.com, if you want to get updates, he's been blogging. He's been doing, I believe, some live events. I think some of the shit's going to end up on his podcast if you listen to the Beervana podcast like I do.
Mhm.
So, yeah, that's my past guest events. I'm very happy about us and the people that we have on. We will have, we'll talk next week. We got Chuck has something coming up. So we're looking forward to that. And that's all I got for past events, Doug. Or past guest events. Do you have anything?
Yeah.
No?
Nope. But man, what a fun show. And sometimes, like I said, it is when Greg, you tend to have these guests that are really fucking reliable, really funny, really engaging, really interesting. And I tend to shoot for these weird fucking offshoots. And she turned out to be a good one. Mallory is good. I'm gonna really be excited to have her back with her boyfriend Jeremy to talk comic books. And man,
Yeah, and then again, y'all need to hit up her podcast.
Reading Glasses.
I'm not I'm a podcast person, but I'm also very specific about what I listen to. And I'm just saying, like, her shit is pretty damn good, and it's engaging and it's quick. And again, what I like about it is that you don't have to hear from a jump. You can just jump in.
You can jump in wherever you need to. Yep.
Right. And you can jump in and out of her podcast because again, it's very, very. It's not actually. I was going to give her props for being not so structured because sometimes you jump on and they just talk immediately about what the subject is. Sometimes they talk about books. Sometimes they're all over the place. They're kind of scattered sometimes, and I like that.
Mm-hmm.
I like no format sometimes. So, but I just like that I can get in and get out, and they teach me a lot about reading, and all that. So yeah, and they do. They don't review books. She's right, but they do talk about books. And they do talk about what they're reading. So
yep.
Yeah, for real, I love the guests. Yeah, Daniel, were you around when there were no guests? Don't go back and look.
Yeah, don't go back. That was a bit of a mess, and we had fun time.
It was a mess, but that was when we didn't know what the hell we were trying to do or wanted to do. But the guests give us structure, and they actually make us, keep it clean for the most part. And that's why I love that shit. I love that shit.
Yeah.
In the meantime, take care of yourself. Yes, we got a lot of stuff to do in 222.
Yes, sir. We do.
And I will be ready for that, Jerry. I'm doing everything I can to be. Yes, Manny, stay well. Manny, we need to book you soon, man. We need to have.
Hey, you know what he should be on is our Christmas beer episode.
Oh, so now we're turning into a Christmas beer. Yeah, okay.
We were going to do a specific beer, but the problem is we did that, and I'm the only person that likes that beer, so I think we need to do Christmas.
But it looks like also we're going to have to squeeze in Ms.
Oh, that's going to be fun. Maybe we could figure that out. That would be great.
Yeah, well, she was saying late December, so get on it, man. But we only have a couple. We have Halloween open. I don't know if you know that. I kind of left it open.
No, I didn't know that.
Yeah, so we can.
All right. Well, I have somebody in mind for that, so that's great. I didn't realize.
I was hoping for my friend Tiffany Martin, but she's busy.
Yeah, I think our friend Renee Pickup, who is a big spooky season person as well, would be fun.
Yeah, and then I don't know. Renee is part of the family around here. She should be co-host at that point.
Yeah,
we can get another person to come on.
That'd be great.
I'm thinking bigger.
You thinking bigger?
We'll talk. I'm thinking bigger. We'll get Renee on, and we'll get yes. Well, we talked to Renee about having. Renee would have been great tonight. I didn't even think about it. Shit.
No, I messaged her, and she.
Oh, okay, cool.
But I said, hey, so Mal, and she's like, oh, it's great. I'll have to watch it later. She was going to a concert with her husband tonight. So she messaged me because she got a, I have a few.
But actually, I actually booked the one Andy Lytle. I booked that guy though. And
Yeah, you did, but no, I have a few horror writers
Right.
that I could do that. But what I'm saying
you
is
got
like,
Chuck and you got Mallory, so
yeah, and
that's two. That counts,
Mallory's
even though
not
we
a
didn't.
but Mallory's not a horror writer. She's a horror fan. It's different. Whereas, so
whoa! She just corrected all of us. Her first book was horror. Damn it! Go on.
It was, but it was nonfiction horror. So it's a different. It is horror, but it's nonfiction horror, which is
I got
different. You know what I mean?
So, I got you. Chuck counts though, doesn't he?
I think so. Chuck's written some fucked up stuff. I have a dream of a particular guest for a horror writer that, and it's not Stephen King. Just before you get that out of your brain, that wrote the best horror book I've read in probably 10 years. And if I can get him on the show, I'm gonna be stoked as fuck because that will be somebody to talk about horror stuff. And he is a horror fanatic, so it'll be great. If I can figure it out.
Stay well, Greg, and I guess Doug too.
Yeah, don't worry about me.
Jerry, and of course Doug too.
Everybody's worried about Greg. Fuck Doug. We can replace that guy.
Yeah, let's get a video of Tiffany's decorations on the show, though. That's a past guest news for sure.
Yep.
We can have her dip in here too. We just got to bug her.
We could just have her bounce in for a moment or two. That'd be great.
Right. Yeah. And she's great about her.
Yeah, she's awesome.
Crazy, actually. Crazy. I said it. Mm-hmm. Okay, Doug. Time to get out of here. What do you got?
Sir. All right, so I'm going to say this is actually my least favorite. The s'mores.
Yeah, I'm not surprised.
It's fine. No graham cracker. When my teenage kid that I always give a tiny sample was like, that was okay. He goes, there was no graham cracker. He was like, there's no graham cracker. And he's not a beer person. He doesn't drink shit like this like all the time like I do.
Well, and the disappointing thing about it is that graham cracker is not easy, but it's something that brewers do all the time. Well, yes, but brewers do it all the time, this graham cracker thing. So it's not like we were saying like passion fruit or some shit. You know what I'm saying? We're saying cracker, right?
Yeah. So I'm going to say these are a tie for the best. Completely different beers. Haunted House was a wrong one. The Haunted House was a like a hoppy dark ale. Really good. Nice mix of roasty and hoppy. Really good. Fun. Great label. And Lovecraftian Love Language, the Rylean, which was just a regular stout, but it was 11%, but it was drank really good and deep, and it was dark and tasty, but they were both excellent. So the s'mores was just a little bit of a letdown because of missing an ingredient. Anyway, what about you, sir?
Hold on here 1 second. I will. I'm just typing this up because it was just so epic. It has to be said. I'm a masshole too. That was great. I was like, James,
I think
an asshole. And she's like, I'm an asshole too.
She was offended. I think that needs to go in with that toddler has no friends.
Yes,
as in the Hall of Fame of
of
our show comments. So yeah,
I'm a masshole too. Well, she said she described herself as a self-proclaimed masshole too. You can find Mallory O'Meara on MalloryO'Meara.com.
Mm-hmm.
Also, anywhere where you find ebooks, regular books, and I mean anywhere, she's on all of them. I checked on her website. So, with that being said, how cannot the Stacey Abrams beer be the best one I had tonight? Mm-hmm. How can it not be? Look at that, Stacey fucking Abrams! Oh my god, I love that lady. She's awesome. The beer was great. It was fantastic. Point number 2 was this mango milkshake. Really nice, man. Big milkshake.
That sounded great.
All that. And last but certainly not least was this Allagash smoky but sweet beer from Barrel Flow. It was fantastic. Doug, we'll see you. I have something here. We'll see you next week, bro. Thanks for being you.
Love you, man.
Love it. Love you too.
Take care.
See you soon. Cheers.